Hello and welcome to Kerbal Space Program. Today I am testing fraps. That would be because DxTory no longer works on my computer after a graphics driver update. I don't know if that's DxTory's fault or my graphics driver or what. But you know what? Looking at this mountain in front of us, I'm afraid we may not be able to make it. Anyhow, you might have noticed I am flying a shuttle. I have the Mark III cockpit internals. I have this cargo bay mod. I have this TT Mark III expansion bay, expansion pack, rocket fuel, Mark III fuselage, rocket fuel. We have a jet engine on the back, of course. This is a space shuttle. It launches and works like a real space shuttle. Well, not quite. I mean, it has a freaking jet engine and only 2 rocket engines. Well, actually 4 because there's these tiny ones like this, but there's no OMS pods. There's a jet engine. It has a drogue chute that is not used during a normal landing. It has this communicatron that I can't right-click anymore for some reason. We're probably registering... Nope, we're not registering altitude. We're not registering on the radar altitude just yet. But, oh geez, these mountains are looking kind of scary now. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to dodge them or not. We are very, very slowly gaining altitude. This thing's on basically autopilot right now. I basically pulled up as hard as I could and then let the SAS take over, and the SAS is just pulling up as hard as it can. And we've been slowly gaining altitude since, well, looking at the map, since the other continent, which is now just at the, where it's starting to get dark. We came in over the desert, over this, near the left of the screen. We came in over there and then slowly headed this way using the jet fuel because this thing has more jet fuel than it would normally have on board because we didn't use all our rocket fuel in orbit. This was a test delivery of a payload to orbit, right? I'm really worried we're not going to make it over that, so I'm taking over the controls to dodge that right there. Ooh, that was close, but we did make it over. I have all the lights on, of course. We have a little thermonuclear generator on here, as well as the jet engine generating electricity. This thing does, unfortunately, require that you use the, whatchamacallit. It does, unfortunately, require use of, okay, look at that. We still are 2,000, we're only 2,000 meters off the ground. We're coming in for the runway. I have a object on the runway. I think it's on the runway, targeted, which may be a slight problem because if we're going to try and land on the runway and there's something on the end of the runway, that's not a good thing. Unfortunately, this isn't point 22 just yet because, that hasn't come out, or if it has, because this was recorded before then. Well, anyhow, we don't have runway lights, and it's nighttime. We just have this thing's lights, and it is very hard to see. And hopefully I don't have issues with YouTube darkening the video again. It's dark enough as it is, but hey, that just kind of adds to what I'm trying to show here. And radar altitude is no longer registering, and we are raising altitude, so I'm going to drop it. Alright, we're now in a controlled descent, or at least what I hope is a controlled descent. Yeah, we should be fine now, but just in case we're not, I'm going to pretend to be nervous. And this is a space shuttle that I made. I suppose I should start going over it a little bit. We have these aviator lights. That's the other thing I forgot to mention, the aviation lights mod. We have the warning lights, which is this red beacon light on the top, and these white strobe lights on the ends of the wings. Those are for when you're about to land or take off. Then we have the nav lights, a green on the left, a red on the right, and 2 whites on the tail. Actually, it'd be 1 on the very top, on the tip top, but you can't surface attach to these, so there is none up there. They're back here, next to the parachute. We have an emergency drogue chute. That is a last ditch, whatever. That is, if we can't land for whatever reason, if we're out of fuel or whatever, because this thing can't land unpowered, by the way. If we're out of fuel or whatever, we activate that to come in softly. This is our reserve jet fuel tank, normally the only tank used for jet fuel. We didn't burn off all our rocket fuel during operations this time, however, so we are using the liquid fuel that would normally be used with oxidizer in the rocket engines to fuel our descent. As you can see right here, the radar altitude is registering again and is slowly dropping down. This is about the descent rate I think we want right now. It may be slightly steeper than we want. We have these lights on, of course, so we can see when we're going to land. We have the RCS systems, as you can see. You probably noticed the RCS ports dotted all over the ship. We have 2 RCS tanks on the back. We have 2 reaction wheels, the intake right there. You know, it's all pretty explanatory. We don't have any payload in right now, which is probably a good thing, because I'm not sure if this thing can even land with a payload on board. And looking at the nav ball, you can see that we're slightly off course, but that's alright. I'm not worried about it at this point. We're still a good 20 kilometers out. I think we're about to enter loading range for these things, because I have, what do you call it? I have the laser mod installed, so of course the loading range is further than it would be for stock KSP. Yep, there we go. There's the warning as we enter loading range that the electric charge is depleted on that one. That's probably that. I believe that warning only shows up because I have TAC life support installed, which is life support mod. If I don't keep them with enough electricity, food, water, and oxygen, they die. Later on, they're supposed to die if there's too much CO2 waste and wastewater buildup, but they haven't implemented that yet, or a recycling system yet. But I'm going to pretend like there is a potentially fatal buildup thing, so I try to keep everything from doing that. Of course, this save, you might have noticed there's things dotted all over the place. This save, I don't care about any of that. I really am only going to care about that in my main, like, progress save, my main career save, aka the whole for the Empire stuff, which this is not. And that's a car going by very loudly. I don't know if you heard that, but I really should have closed my window before I started recording, but I didn't think I'd be recording, so I didn't close my window. Also, it's not that hot in here. I mean, it's definitely not compared to what it was, but it is slightly uncomfortably warm. And also, that orbiter is not at the runway. The runway is all the way to the left. I can see it now. And we are very off course. Not extremely so, not like, oh my god, we're gonna fail. But we are definitely off course from where I intended us to be. So, I am now turning to correct that, of course. And also, you noticed we raised altitude briefly there. I'm surprised this thing is doing as well as it is. Flying as well as it is right now. It's behaving. It's a good thing. It's a very good thing. And because, you know, generally when things behave, you have a higher chance of survival. There's no runway lights, but the SPH, I can see it. It's lit up. There's just this, you know, speck there. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off all the indicators. Let's pretend we have no indicators. Pretend like, you know, because that's kind of like a HUD thing. Pretend like there's no HUD. I'm also going to pull up here. As you can see, I'm pulling up a bit more than I was because our radar altitude is getting a bit lower, and I'm not so sure I'm ready for it to be that low yet. But as you can see, I'm lining up with the runway here. I think we're about lined up. Actually, we're a little to the left now. That's okay. We still have time to correct for that as we get in closer. We're displaying orbital speed. We really should be displaying surface speed. Okay. We're dropping. We're nearly at 500 meters up. And now we're dropping. Okay, so this is where it really starts to count. Because if you fuck it up down here, well, you're doomed. You can see our light is just starting to show up on the ground here. We're, of course, still off course a little bit. Basically, I'm letting us fall a little faster now, so that I'm going to flare at the end. And keep us from hitting the ground too hard, of course. If you look at the vertical speed indicator, you can see I'm falling a bit faster than 10 meters per second. I don't want to be falling that fast when I actually touch down. Now you can see we're falling at a much more reasonable, around 5 meters per second. And just cutting the engine. There we go, touchdown. We are secure, turning off the SAS so it doesn't interfere. I turned on the brakes, as you might have noticed already. We are going to a stop, and I just tried to activate the parachute by hitting spacebar, but I locked the stages earlier so that I wouldn't accidentally do that while I was flying. I wanted to demonstrate why we can't use that for a landing chute, but it seems I did not get the chance. So now we just have the warning lights on. I turned off the main navigation lights. Now I'm going to turn those off, and the primary lights off. Actually, I'm going to turn on the turn back on the warning lights. Oh, now it raises the landing gear like it's supposed to. Now it does that. Now, when I don't want it to, it does that. Landing gear. Hello? Oh, okay. Let's hope that it doesn't... Oh, it's glitched through the ground. That's not a good thing. Alright, let's raise that. Hope it doesn't break. Okay, now let's... Nope, now let's lower it. Hope it doesn't break. Alright, looks like we're good. I'm going to disable the brakes. I'm going to disable this engine. I'm going to enable this engine. I'm going to go ahead and transfer a bunch of fuel in here. There we go. Go ahead and refuel this. I'm going to go ahead and throttle it up slightly. And I'm going to hit D to turn. Basically, we're going to go and park this thing. And of course, the reason I activated the right engine and the right engine only is because it would help me turn. Convenient, eh? So I'm actually going to go drive it onto this little ramp going up to the VAB, and we're going to see how easily we can do that. Or not easily, as the case may be. Looks like it's going quite well, though. 2 meters per second, that's about 7 kilometers per hour, I believe. 2 meters per second times 3.6, I don't feel like doing precise math. That's like 7.2 maybe? I might have done that math completely right. I might have done it completely wrong. There was a little bump. I was not expecting that. That terrified me momentarily. But it looks like it's all good. Looks like we're actually going to turn quite easily. I'm surprised this thing's actually building up speed as we turn. It's kind of funny. And I'm going to go look at it from this angle. I think there's space to the side there. Yeah, we're going to pull around to the side of it. We're actually going to shut down this engine. Turn on this one. So that if we want to use the engine to help us turn, we can use that one. Actually, I think that's completely pointless at this point. So I'm going to shut that back off. And we're just going to continue driving a space shuttle to park it by the SPH. This is actually really fucking cool. Alright, and so, thank you for watching, as always. See you in space. There will be another video, or several videos actually, with this space shuttle. Well, at least 2 videos. Well, actually, probably more past that, because I'm actually going to use the shuttle for things. But, that was just a quick little look at the shuttle and landing it at night, which is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and show you what it looks like during the daytime, since YouTube's probably fucked the gamma on this thing. People died. I didn't do that. You don't see that on the screen right now. Yeah, let's wait till that goes away. Pretend like it's not happened. Wait for it to go away. Wait for it to go away. Why won't it go away? How long do those messages stay up? Seriously, I mean... Oh, now they're gone. But yeah, there we go. Actually, let's take another shot of it from this angle. And another from this angle. Yeah. Oh, and there's I don't know if you can see them, but you can barely see them. Let me zoom out to show you them, but there's the docking clamps still on the pad from where this thing launched. These 3 clamps that are vertically aligned, those connect to the main tank. Then these 2 outer ones connect to the boosters, and then these 2 other ones connect to the top of the shuttle, the rear of the top of the shuttle, on either side of this liquid fuel tank on the top here. And so there you go. That's that. I'm going to make a video explaining how I made this, how to make your own, kind of, that sort of deal. Another video showing how to use it, how it flies, etc. And then other videos that are just going to have it in there that are not going to be specifically about it. But there you go. Thanks for watching, as always. See you in space.